thank you everyone for being here. So what we have today are two winners from this year's competition and one winner from last year's competition. So Air Liquide, SUEZ, and Rivière Yuan. And what we're going to do for the next 40 minutes is discuss innovation from the point of view of each one of these brilliant participants. So before we start, I would love to hear a little bit about the background of your company in China. If you may, please introduce yourself and your company, starting with Clément.
Hello, so I'm Clément LIX, Energy Transition Director for Air Liquide Greater China, mainland China, Taiwan and Hong Kong. Air Liquide is a worldwide leader in industrial gases. Industrial gases is oxygen, nitrogen, argon, but also hydrogen and carbon dioxide and rare gases. We are in China, we are about 5,000 employees present in 12 provinces and cities, covering all business from Air Liquide, be it for industrial customer or for healthcare or for electronic customer. And we have 120 plants, one center of engineering and one innovation campus that we opened in 2016.
Great. Please, Ximin.
Okay, hello. So my name is Ximin HUANG, and I'm working for SUEZ. I'm the innovation director for SUEZ in Asia. So SUEZ is a global company working on environment and dedicated to water and waste two sectors. So since 160 years ago, we're working on environment field. So actually in China, we have been entered into China market since 1975. So almost 50 years. So today in China, we have around 6,000 employees in China, and because most of our business is under partnership with the local government and the players. So actually we're managing 40 projects on water and waste, and we also help the Chinese government and client to build up more than 600 water and wastewater treatment plants. And as well, we manage a lot with the industrial park. So today we provide a comprehensive environmental service to 19 industrial park in China. And yeah, just a little bit about R&D and innovation. So we've paid a lot of attention on the local innovation R&D. So in China, we have built up 6 R&D centers in different cities. Okay, thank you.
Great. Haobo.
In English, right?
Yes, everything today is in English.
Sure. Hi everyone, so my name is Haobo Zhang. So first about RIVIERE YUAN. We are, compared to the other panelists, we are very small organization. Just founded 12 months ago in Lyon, as I said. Today we have 2 associates and 5 team members, plus our intern from business school and engineer school. So as I've been saying earlier, we focus on helping language teachers to do better their job. And why we choose to focus on helping the teachers is that we have the conviction that self-learning without proper tutoring can turn easily into self-abandon. So we think that's the most efficient way of helping the language learners. So today we are we have our MVP product for first language, which is Chinese. And we have the partner schools, mainly in mid school and high schools in France. But we also begin to have universities who have their beginning learner for Chinese as well. So maybe more about myself. What about myself 1 year ago? So I've always been working for corporate, starting as an information system engineer, and then I moved into finance as an internal auditor, and then as performance management for procurement supply chain. Always closely working with the data systems And now I try to, instead of digitalizing business process, the way of teaching languages. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for the self-introduction. I just want to mention this is a very special panel because to view innovation from both corporate and startup standpoints allows you to really get a view from the large scale to the small scale, from processes to entrepreneurial drive. And so to discuss first, I think we should really start with understanding the ecosystem. What does the innovation ecosystem look like between France and China? If each one of our participants could give their point of view on where it came from and where it is today.
Maybe I start. So for Air Liquide, we are in China since for more than 30 years. Of course, we arrived to bring operations, so we were replicating the model that was existing in other mature economies. But we developed soon after engineering and construction capabilities, technology development made in China. And then, as I mentioned, in 2016, we opened our first innovation campus in Shanghai. What is a campus? Is about 250 people from business, from R&D, working together to build new solutions for our own customers. So we have researchers with labs, 11 labs, 11 testing platforms, but also we have people liaising with customers, and together they can have new ideas for combustion, for water treatment, for hydrogen, for carbon capture. So this is a really powerful model that we tried the first time in China and that we replicated later in Tokyo and also in Paris. So I think it's a big jump in the collaboration inside the corporate. If we look a bit larger view in terms of ecosystem, we have in China very, very strong universities. In Air Liquide, every 2 years we launch global scientific challenge with very broad questions. And I think in 2019, we had the proposal from Nanjing University, which was really very high quality and very surprising for us in terms of innovation. And it was a winner of our global scientific challenge, and it gave birth to the hydrogen agriculture mentioned by Monsieur l'Ambassadeur. We have now we are able to produce strawberries with hydrogen, tomatoes, rice, and this hydrogen agriculture is better yield, less toxicity, and for the fruits, for tomatoes or for strawberries, is more sugar. So it's really value-added innovation that we have thanks to science made in China, and this new technological break, this new challenge, this new science help us to do patents in China but also worldwide, and we can see that this innovation can be replicated later in other geographies. So I think it's really very nice example to mention.
Thank you.
So I will also share some understanding about innovation ecosystem. But before we're talking about it, I think it is very important to understand the relationship and the difference between R&D and innovation, because this is very important to form the innovation ecosystem. So to be brief, research and R&D, we can say, is the early stage, and then we move to innovation, which is more close to the market. So I would say, because R&D, in fact, we say is more focused on the forward-looking technology. So most of the research that we have done is focused on the fundamental tech. And then innovation, because we need to be possible to be landed in and then generate the business value. So apart from that, the evaluation of the technical feasibility, the more important is to evaluate if it is potential to move to market. So I think this is very important to understand the difference and then the potential gap. And for many company, many player who is doing innovation, the difficulty is that how to set up the link between research and innovation. And we say, in fact, this part is always called as the dead zone. Dead zone is very difficult to overlap. Okay, yeah. So when we talk about China and France and innovation ecosystem, so in my opinion, today, whatever for China or for France, both the countries is pushing a lot on innovation development. So the overall atmosphere is very good, very dynamic. Yeah. So whatever from the government policy or to the incentive is very, very active, especially for China. So every year, the China government will launch a lot of the public research funds to move forward the innovation activity development. So this is a very good phenomenon. And as a result, so today, if we look at the number of the IP or the number of the paper, in fact, China is already ranking #1 in the world. However, I think there's still one thing that we need to overlap for China's innovation ecosystem is that the rate of the commercialization or industrialization. Because when we look at the number of the patents to move forward to industrial application, today China's rate is still low. It's just 10%. So comparing with Europe or comparing with France, which is around 40 to 50%, I think is still a big gap. So this is the things that for Chinese innovation ecosystem still need to learn from the French ecosystem. So for example, one project that we do in France is that today we know that because of the global commitment on carbon, so there is an evolution on the energy structure and then a need on the green transportation. So in every country we can see a lot of the e-vehicle. And following with this e-vehicle, it will come to the downstream is that one day this e-vehicle will generate a lot of the battery as a waste. So today, SUEZ, we are working on this e-vehicle battery waste. And in fact, this is a cutting-edge topic which will need the collaboration between research and innovation. So for SUEZ, we're involving from the very beginning together with BASF and Ahmed with the university. So that is mean, I think, industrial company is very important to involve from the very beginning, even from the R&D stage. So in this case, it will be easier to move forward into industrialization. And this should be a learning case that for many companies to move forward from research to innovation. Yeah, so just an example. And the second example I want to share is that today when we talk about innovation, cannot be just narrow understanding that to do innovation by our own team. So it's very important to build up an open innovation ecosystem. So that is mean to work together with the university, with the research institute, or even with the startup. So this kind of open innovation ecosystem will be very important for the company, but also to set up a kind of the innovation atmosphere for the whole industry.
So I think Haobo has both past experience and present experience, past experience in the corporate world and present experience in a startup. So we'd be happy to hear about both.
If Neil, you agree, where I will put more focus on the startup ecosystem things. My feeling is that for startup ecosystem, both developing very quickly in France and in China. In France, we had the organization French Tech, which is an umbrella organization. And within inside, we have different vertical, FinTech, France, EdTech, France, etc. Where in China, it's somehow more different, but we also have like actors, iFlyTech, 科大讯飞, or 中关村, more private actors who are organizing very influential and important innovation camps. And then in terms of relationship between innovation and R&D, I join 100% with what has been said, is that it's critical to build the bridge between the two. My experience with the help of the EdTech acceleration of Paris Cergy University, we have access to the largest network of laboratories specialized in education domain. We always say it's different to ask users if after using a product, digital product, you feel better, you feel it's useful. It's very different from a research protocol which produce the results which can be scientifically challenged and confirmed to say that with certain changes in the methodology, with the help of the technology, we improve the efficiency of language learning by X percentage. And also we work a lot with the university, both business engineer school or in Lyon, inside of Lyon, or in this case it's easy since I'm their graduate, just kidding. But also other University de La Rochelle, also Wuhan University, who are very strong in language dictation. It's almost surprising for me that the openness of those professors, experts in that domain, towards a very small actor like us. We are just starting our adventure, but they're willing to listen to us and actively actually contribute to the concretization of our ideas. That's, I think, the best sign of the better future between innovation and R&D.
Great. Thank you very much for that. I would like to focus just a bit more on the particularities of the Chinese ecosystem. What innovation is it able to drive through its way of working, its culture, the way that things are done here? Because that has evolved over the past 20 years. Are there characteristics that you find are very Chinese that help drive innovation with your companies in terms of way of working, for example?
Maybe I can start. So we, as mentioned by Ximin, we have a great ecosystem here in China, and with a strong role of the government. And for example, on the energy transition domain, we have two examples which were facilitated and strongly driven by local governments. For example, in Shanghai here, we are building two new low-carbon production plants of hydrogen. So we produce low-carbon hydrogen for industrial customers. This will represent for the Shanghai area a reduction of 350,000 tons of CO2 per year. 350,000 is really huge amount. And this was facilitated by the SKIP Shanghai Chemical Industry Park, who is supporting us to add on our production plants some carbon capture and recycling technology. And thanks to their support, we are able to really implement this new technology. Moreover, we are using this new low-carbon hydrogen to support the hydrogen mobility in the Shanghai area. And this also is made through local strong actors. We have Shenergy, we have Shanghai Chemical Industry Park, and we are in JV with these two players to deploy the hydrogen for clean mobility in Shanghai. So it's really strong support, strong ecosystem driven by government for the energy transition. The second one I would like to mention is in Tianjin. We have, thanks to the strong push of the local Tianjin government and the support of our customer Borwa, we are electrifying two production plants. This will also help us to reduce our CO2 emission by 350,000 tons per year. And this was supported by the local Tianjin government. And together, the government, our customer Borwa and Air Liquide, we signed MOU to study the new ways of doing concretely energy transition locally. So it's really critical support that we can have from the government. Another ecosystem I would like to mention is really the digital ecosystem here in China. We have dedicated team to do some business on WeChat, on Alipay, on Taobao to sell our gases. It's really specificity in China, but also we have teams developing algorithm in our research center. The algorithm to optimize our plants, algorithms to do some predictive maintenance, and these algorithms, they were replicated globally to all Air Liquide plants worldwide, in China and outside of China. I think really the quality of our locally trained engineers and the quality of their training through the university is really great, and it can spread knowledge and spread innovation globally within our Air Liquide networks. So I think these two examples concretely show the specificities of Chinese ecosystem of innovation.
That's great. So I hear government support, I hear talent, right, and digital infrastructure. These are very key elements. Perhaps in different industries there are different forums that you might want to mention. Ximin?
So as I introduced at the very beginning, so SUEZ, we are infrastructure-based and service-based company. So when we talk about the Chinese innovation characteristic and ecosystem, so I fully agree with what you presented is today, China's overall atmosphere of innovation is very favorable, and trying to push a lot and then launch a lot of the national fund research to support innovation. So this is very good. So when we talk about the Chinese engineer or the characteristic of the Chinese engineer on innovation, so in the past, a general understanding is that the Chinese engineer is maybe more result-oriented rather than process control. But I think that this is true, but I don't agree it is a natural characteristic, because in fact this depends on the role and the responsibility they will take. So for example, for SUEZ, as I mentioned, we have already developing in China thing for almost 50 years. So in the past, we can say in the first 30 years, it is true that most of our innovation, our research product was done in France, in our global innovation center in Paris. Then the Chinese team, our role is to digest the technology, transfer technology, and then apply in China markets. So this is true that we want to be result-oriented, because we want to quickly sell it to the market, to the client. Okay, so I think it is a common phenomenon for a lot of the French company for their beginning for developing the business in China. But then today we need to realize, in fact, there is a trend to change. So that is mean for some cutting edge topics or some leading topic, China start to switch the law. For example, when we talk about carbon topics, because today carbon neutrality is a global hot topic. So below these carbon topics, in fact, there is a lot of the new area like clean energy, green transportation, or even when we talk about recycling. So we will say recycling of the resource and then recovery from waste. All this area, in fact, in some topics, China is already in much forward than the other countries. So we can still work in China for service in China, but at the end, reversing to feed French need or even the other countries. So for example, the project that we're in today, in fact, we develop from research and then innovation. The whole process was done by Chinese team, and then our French colleague, they also involved, but it's different with what we have before. It was developed by French team. So this is a very good example that some good idea, some best innovation can come from China and then service the other countries. And I will say between China and France, in fact, there is some common interesting innovation topics. Firstly is what I said, topic related to carbon topic related to climate change. And then I will also think the topic on AI, artificial intelligence, could be also a topic to work together. And also about the agriculture, which is related to food safety. And then in the post-COVID area is also talk about bioinformatical about the safety. So all these kind of topics, we need to change the mindset that in the past is always an import technology from the other, but now we need to change a little bit the understanding about the global structure and about this Chinese ecosystem.
Great. And we'd love to hear a little bit about the particularities of the innovation aspects here in China. What makes it so powerful from an entrepreneurial point of view?
Thank you, Ximin, for the transition regarding the AI. So basically, we invest heavily in generative AIs, but also natural language processing, other technology. Our own team is majority French-trained engineers, but we do work a lot with Chinese technology solution provider. So somehow, if I try to identify the specificity with the Chinese solution providers, I will say in the contact, it's like more relationship oriented. So when we meet to, of course, discuss the pricing of the token of the APIs, but not only, they are more active in wondering what you're doing, they're interested in your business, try to introduce you to some potential partners, which is less present in our contact with the Western providers. And they're more in technology point of view. It's like we are like aggregator of the best of breeds of different source of technology, speech to text, text to speech, assessment, generative text, etc. What I can say is that the Chinese providers, they are catching up very, very quickly with the leaders of their on the edge. Even in some domains, we are willing to switch with Chinese solutions because they provide the same level of performance and which much better cost efficiency. Maybe one thing to be further improved, and no name, of course, is that we do have documentation, in technical documentation, both in Chinese and in English. But more than once, our team have identified there is a gap between the English version and the Chinese version. The latest one is always in Chinese. We understand our fellow engineers, they're rushing to catch up, but it will be much more user-friendly if we have more updated English documentation as well.
Well, I'm sure AI could maybe help speed up the translations. Yeah. I want to ask one final question. I think it's a key question. Our audience are composed of companies, both Chinese and Western, French for many of them. And what recommendations in terms of collaboration would you provide to them so that they can maximize their efficiency in innovating together? And that could be per sector, it could be per methodology, but we'd love to hear your thoughts on that. What would you recommend?
Maybe we can say first that you need focus because the Chinese market is very huge, geographic is very big, a lot of market segments. So even for a large company like LIQUIDE, when we develop, we focus on our basins, our production plants where we have our key customer. We focus on this area and we are not present in all provinces. We are really focused on our key strengths, and I recommend to focus on the key markets and key geographies within China. The second is also to be ready to be fast enough and intimate enough with your customer I think we see over the past few years really strong acceleration in the way doing business in China, and I sometimes we really need to catch up as a European company to give the right answer to our customers. So when you grow, you really need to be fast and catch up with a strong pace in China. So the third recommendation I would say is also all about capital. You have a lot of venture capital in China, very good quality. Air Liquide chose to partner with Cathay Capital, a French-Chinese fund, and we are the sponsor of the Smart Energy Fund together with Total Energy and CMA CGM and other players. I think it's really a good way to be in touch with local innovation and to be also in touch with business angels that can support the strong acceleration of innovative business. So I think really focus, pace and access to the right business angel are three key recommendations.
Great, thank you very much. Ximin, your final thoughts on improving innovation collaboration?
Okay, yeah. So when we talk about innovation collaboration between Chinese and French team, I think there are three different levels, from narrow to wide. The first level is the innovation collaboration within the same company, but between French team and the Chinese team. Then the second level is the innovation collaboration in the same area, but with the team from the other company, from outside, from university, from startup, from client. So this is the second level. Then the third level is innovation collaboration among different industries between China and France. So I will say whatever which level, there are three key essential to push forward innovation collaboration. So firstly is that because between Chinese and French, it's normal that we have a different culture, different language. So I think the exchange, a smooth exchange to push a kind of collaboration, to push a kind of coordination, this is very important to establish a kind of smooth exchange mechanism. So this is the first. Then the second is that we need to have a common view, common vision, common goal. So even sometimes we may have some different idea, different methodology, but as soon as we have this kind of common goal, common vision, it will facilitate a lot of the work. Even sometimes we may have some different idea, may have some conflict. So I think this is the second essential to push forward the innovation. Then finally, I think we need to have a clear roadmap. So that is means sometimes we may have one team in China is working that way, but one team in France is working in the other way. But this doesn't matter. If we can have a clear methodology, clear roadmap, at the end we will reach the same target. And this is also another kind of innovation collaboration. So finally, if we talk about a larger scope, when I say the innovation collaboration between China and France, so I think it is very important to have the organization like CFC, like the Chinese Franco-Chinese Business Council, to gather the different industry company together. And then sometimes when we discuss, we brainstorm, we can find that in fact collaboration is not just limited in our industry. It can have a lot of possibility to work with the other industry, with the other area. And this is very important for a larger scope of French-Chinese innovation collaboration. So anyway, I think exchange and then common understanding, same goal, and then finally for the mutual trust and union collaboration partnership. This is very important.
Our final words?
Well, it will be difficult to add on what have been very thoughtful and solid works. I will try. Maybe put more focus on people.
Yes.
I think it's important to be aware of the differences between culture, business, etc. But it's far from enough to just observe the difference from a safe distance. you want to engage not French or Chinese as a concept, but as an individual. So everyone is different. And even today, with my daily interaction with Chinese, French actors, I think my thinking is evolving daily as well. My really recommendation will be to be brave, really to not be afraid to evolve yourselves with new learnings in a continuous manner. So that will be the final. Thank you.
Great. I want to thank everyone here for coming and for Sibyl for helping set up a panel discussion for this great topic. And of course, our three panelists, please applause for Clément, Ximin, and Haobo. All right. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for the three speakers. I mean, your recommendation will be very useful. And thank you to Neil to have organized these great questions. So we have, I think, a better view of the key ingredients to make collaboration on innovation successful. Thank you very much to you all.